Balance after 60 is one of the most subtle and dangerous challenges aging brings. If you've ever noticed it's harder to keep steady or find yourself wobbling more often, you're not alone. What's really going on inside your body as balance after 60 starts to slip? And why do some people start stumbling, even though they were always sure-footed before? Today, we'll uncover the 15 most common reasons your balance after 60 takes a hit. And trust me, you'll want to watch right up to reason number 14, because it could actually change how you protect yourself from falls. Before we start, if you're passionate about staying strong and independent as you age, hit that subscribe button and tap the bell. You'll never miss an important health tip that could keep you or a loved one safe. Let's jump into the first cause. 1. Muscle weakness. Muscle weakness, often called sarcopenia, is a primary factor behind balance problems in people over 60. As the years go by, both muscle strength and muscle mass naturally start to shrink, making it a lot harder to move with confidence. This decline isn't sudden. It often kicks off around age 30 and gradually speeds up every decade. By the time you reach your 60s, these changes add up. You might notice simple activities are suddenly more draining, and your sense of stability starts to fade. This happens because not only do muscle fibers get smaller and fewer, but your body's ability to repair and rebuild muscle also drops. Plus, the motor neurons, crucial for muscle movement and coordination, decline with age, making muscles even weaker. A less active lifestyle, chronic pain, or long-term health problems often lead to moving less. Unfortunately, less activity only accelerates this muscle loss. This cycle mainly hits the legs and core, muscle groups you rely on for walking, staying upright, and reacting quickly if you trip. When leg muscles weaken, your steps get shorter, your walking slows down, and you may lose confidence moving around. Weak core muscles, which keep your spine stable, can wreck posture and make it tougher to recover from sudden wobbles. Want to break the cycle? The answer is regular resistance training, some aerobic exercise, and smart nutrition. If you're ready to take steps to stay strong, type "steady" in the comments. Let's see how many of us are determined to keep moving confidently. Your word could inspire someone else today. 2. Vision changes. As you get older, shifts in your vision play a huge role in how steady you feel. Aging affects everything, from visual sharpness and depth perception to how well you spot obstacles at the edge of your vision. Problems like cataracts, glaucoma, macular degeneration, and diabetic retinopathy are all too common, and they can take a serious toll on how well you see. Take cataracts, for example. They make your vision cloudy, and navigating dim rooms becomes a challenge. Glaucoma steals your peripheral vision, so you might miss hazards on the side. Macular degeneration wipes out your central vision, which you need for reading or seeing faces. And diabetic retinopathy, which results from damage to tiny blood vessels in the eye, can sneak up if diabetes isn't managed well. With these vision troubles, it's much easier to misjudge distances, miss uneven ground, or trip over something you simply didn't see. That's why regular eye checks are non-negotiable after 60. The right glasses, prompt cataract surgery, and effective treatments for glaucoma or macular problems can keep your world sharp and reduce your risk of falling. Improve lighting at home, cut down on glare, and keep pathways clear to boost safety for those struggling with vision. By facing vision changes early, you'll hold on to your independence and lower your fall risk. 3. Inner ear issues. The inner ear is like your personal GPS. It keeps you aware of your body's position and movement. As you get older, this system can start to break down, opening the door to balance issues. A major culprit is benign paroxysmal positional vertigo, or BPPV. When tiny crystals inside your inner ear shift into the wrong spot, they mess up the signals your brain relies on, causing dizzy spells or a spinning feeling that can strike without warning. Another troublemaker is Meniere's disease. It can bring bouts of vertigo, hearing loss, ringing in the ears, and that odd feeling of fullness inside your ear. Vestibular neuritis is yet another issue. It's an inflammation of the vestibular nerve, often after a viral illness, and it can leave you dizzy and off balance for weeks. Age itself wears down the delicate hair cells in the inner ear. plus the nerve connections sending balance info to your brain. When these wear out, it's harder to keep your footing, especially when you move quickly or turn your head. If inner ear problems hit, doctors may recommend vestibular rehabilitation therapy or VRT, specialized exercises to train your balance system, improve head movements, and help your body adjust. 4. Medications. For many older adults, taking several medications at once is part of daily life. But while these prescriptions manage conditions like high blood pressure, diabetes, arthritis, or heart disease, they can also come with balance-stealing side effects. Some blood pressure meds, for example, can cause you to feel dizzy or faint if you stand up quickly, a phenomenon called orthostatic hypotension. Sedatives or tranquilizers, often given for anxiety or sleep issues, can slow down your reflexes and make coordination worse. Antidepressants, too, may affect the central nervous system, making balance more difficult. Even some over-the-counter meds, like allergy pills, can cause drowsiness or blur your vision, putting you at higher risk of losing your balance. The real problem comes with polypharmacy, using multiple drugs together. Drug interactions can ramp up side effects and make falls more likely. That's why it's so important to regularly review every medication you take with a healthcare provider. Sometimes, simply adjusting doses, switching prescriptions, or standing up slowly can make a huge difference. 5. Neurological conditions. Certain neurological disorders become more common as we age, and they can dramatically affect balance after 60. Diseases like Parkinson's, multiple sclerosis, MS, and stroke all disrupt the nervous system, making coordination tough. With Parkinson's, the brain slowly loses the cells that produce dopamine, a key chemical for smooth, controlled movement. Symptoms like shaking, stiff muscles, and slow motions all work together to make balance harder. MS attacks the protective covering on nerves, interrupting the brain's messages to your body. That means more muscle weakness, spasms, and jerky movement, each one adding to instability. A stroke, which cuts off blood supply to parts of your brain, can instantly rob you of muscle control, sensation, and balance, sometimes on just one side of the body. If the cerebellum, your body's balance center, is affected, expect dizziness, vertigo, and ongoing trouble with balance. Even in healthy aging, the brain naturally shrinks over time, especially in areas that control movement. Fewer neurons and less efficient communication between cells mean it's harder to stay steady. Peripheral neuropathy, nerve damage often linked to diabetes, can also make balance even worse. 6. Decreased proprioception. Proprioception, sometimes called your sixth sense, is your body's internal GPS, letting you know where your limbs are at all times. This sense keeps you steady and lets you move without constantly looking down at your feet. But as we get older, those tiny sensors, proprioceptors in our joints, muscles, and tendons lose some sharpness. Age-related changes, less blood flow, and everyday wear and tear all make these sensors less effective. When proprioception fades, your brain doesn't get the fast, accurate feedback it needs about your body's position. This leads to more swaying, awkward steps, and an increased risk of tumbling over. Diabetes and arthritis, which are common later in life, make things worse. Diabetes can cause peripheral neuropathy, reducing sensation in your feet, while arthritis leads to joint stiffness, throwing off normal feedback. But here's some good news. Exercises like Tai Chi or balance drills can retrain your body and brain to coordinate better. Physical therapy is a smart move for anyone with severe proprioceptive loss. And don't forget the right nutrition. Plenty of B vitamins and vitamin D help keep those nerves firing. 7. Arthritis. Arthritis is one of the top reasons older adults struggle with balance and mobility. This joint condition, especially osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis, causes pain, swelling, and stiffness. Osteoarthritis comes from years of wear and tear, grinding down the protective cartilage until bones rub together painfully. Rheumatoid arthritis, on the other hand, is an autoimmune condition that attacks the joints themselves, triggering inflammation. Both types can deform joints and limit how much you can move, making everyday tasks a challenge. When pain from arthritis limits movement, you naturally move less, and weaker muscles make balance even harder. Plus, To avoid pain, people often use odd postures or movements. These are less stable and make falls more likely. Managing arthritis means using medications, staying active with gentle exercise like swimming or Tai Chi, and watching your weight to keep strain off your joints. 8. Low blood pressure. Ever stand up quickly and suddenly feel lightheaded? That's orthostatic hypotension, a drop in blood pressure that can cause dizziness or even blackouts, dramatically raising your risk of falling. As you age, your blood vessels stiffen and the body's pressure-regulating sensors don't react as well. Certain medications, those for blood pressure, heart conditions, or depression, can lower blood pressure too much. Being dehydrated or having disorders that affect the nervous system, like diabetes or Parkinson's, makes it worse. Managing low blood pressure means drinking enough water, changing positions slowly, sometimes using compression stockings, and working with your doctor on medication adjustments and leg-strengthening exercises. 9. Diabetes. Diabetes does more than affect blood sugar. It also damages nerves and weakens balance after 60. Peripheral neuropathy, one of the most common diabetes complications, destroys feeling in the feet and legs. When you lose sensation, you're less likely to notice if you're walking on an uneven surface or stepping on something dangerous. This makes falls and injuries more likely, and foot problems can spiral out of control without you realizing it. Keeping blood sugar controlled, checking your feet regularly, and prioritizing strength and balance exercises are key to staying on your feet. 10. Cardiovascular issues. Heart health and balance go hand in hand. Conditions like high blood pressure, heart disease, and atherosclerosis slow down blood flow, especially to the brain, causing lightheadedness and even fainting, which are obvious fall risks. If blood pressure dips fast after standing, orthostatic hypotension, you can lose your balance in seconds. Heart failure, weak heart muscles, and arrhythmias can make you feel tired or dizzy, further impacting your stability. If you're still watching, type 1 below and don't forget to hit like. Every comment and like helps spread these essential health tips to more people. 11. Foot problems. Often overlooked, foot issues are a big reason older adults have trouble balancing. Bunions, those bony bumps near your big toe, change how you walk and distribute weight. Plantar fasciitis brings heel pain that makes each step harder, while flat feet throw off your body's alignment and stability. Wearing the wrong shoes, high heels, loose slippers, or ones without support only makes things worse. Supportive, well-fitted footwear is your first defense. Treating foot pain early keeps you moving safely. 12. Cognitive decline. Cognitive decline, including dementia and Alzheimer's, disrupts the way the brain processes sensory information and plans movements. When thinking and memory are affected, judging distance, recognizing obstacles, or reacting to changes becomes much harder. Someone with dementia may not notice a step or react in time to prevent a fall. Executive functions, like planning and quick decision-making, slow down, making movements less coordinated. Cognitive decline also saps motivation, which can lead to less activity and weaker muscles. 13. Poor nutrition. Your body needs the right fuel to stay steady. Vitamin D keeps bones and muscles healthy. Without it, weakness and falls are much more common. Vitamin B12 is critical for nerve health. A shortage can cause peripheral neuropathy, reducing your sense of position and coordination. Lack of these vitamins can even speed up cognitive decline, worsening balance. Eat a balanced diet rich in these nutrients, or take supplements if your doctor recommends them. 14. Lack of physical activity. Not moving enough is a fast track to muscle loss and poor balance. A sedentary lifestyle leads to sarcopenia, muscle wasting, making it harder to stay upright and react quickly. Stiff joints, weaker muscles, and reduced flexibility make every movement more difficult. But the good news? Exercise works wonders. Regular strength training, balance drills, improve muscle tone, flexibility, and coordination. They also keep joints healthy and bones strong, lowering your risk of falls and fractures. 15. Environmental hazards. Your surroundings matter more than you might think. Cluttered rooms, loose rugs, uneven flooring, and scattered items are trip hazards waiting to happen. Bathrooms, thresholds, and stairs can be tricky, especially if there's poor lighting or no handrails. Simple fixes, like removing clutter, improving lighting, and adding grab bars or non-slip mats, make a world of difference. So, those are the 15 most common reasons your balance after 60 may be slipping. Many of these causes are manageable, and taking action now can help you stay strong, steady, and independent. Pause and subscribe if you found these tips useful. We truly care about your health, and sharing your own experiences, questions, or advice below inspires us to keep making helpful content. Don't forget to share this video with your friends or loved ones who might need these tips too. Your feedback and stories in the comments mean everything to us. We love hearing from you, and together we can help more people stay safe and healthy.